This sucks. In this video, I'm gonna turn this junky old air tank that I found into this. So I bought this thing on Facebook Marketplace for about 60 bucks and then I drug it out of the woods with my buddy Ryan, who is an avid barbecuer like myself. The concept here is to use this for the grill, like the chamber of the smoker. First things first though is I'm gonna build the stand for it so that way I don't have to lug this thing around because we don't have any means to pick it up in the air. So we're gonna put it down one last time. To you, Jordan. I had to cut all the valves and stuff off because it was hardwired into the building, but the tank seems to be in pretty good shape still. We're gonna use that for the chamber on the smoker. I don't feel like lugging it around. So first things first, I'm gonna build a platform and then we gotta figure out a way to fasten these big old wheels to it and then make the front turn. All things I've never done. Well, I've made boxes out of metal, so I shouldn't say that.
But you don't say that.
But never done the wheelie thing. This should be fun. So we're using these 4x4 golf cart tires. These are a little bit oversized because I'm oversized and I like oversized things. I have to weld this wheel bearing hub into the axle itself. So to make sure everything's kind of kosher, I'm gonna add a little spacer there. Never done this before. This should get real squirrely. Need this thing to turn. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this axle, oh my goodness. And then build up this foot off of it. And we'll have a hole through here and then a hole through our cage. A bolt will run through some washers between them and we should be able to fasten the handle to the bottom axle. That will allow us to turn the front just like a wagon. And then the back wheels will be permanently fixed. Should work in theory. We all know how theory is around these parts. The worst. Let's drill some holes! Up, one more, another pube, your pube, my pube. I should be welding that close to the tire, huh, Sam? All right, so the buggy's rolling and rocking and all the fun stuff that we were looking for. Now we gotta build some arms. My thought is I'll get this thing kind of fit to a height that I want it at, and then I'll be able to work on it, not on the ground, because I hate working on the ground. So yeah, let's get to that, and then hopefully we'll have this thing mocked up here in a little bit. This is not a very aggressive arch, but I've just got a marker taped to some dividers here. I'm just marking it because we'll take this off and then I can, from that corner, cut it on the other side. And it'll just sit down a little nicer, give me a little bit of a better weld seam against it. So with those arms on there, it is now time to clean old blue. And I'm putting on the gas mask for this because this is about to get absolutely filthy. I love this. You can still see Oakmont, and that's like Pittsburgh. That's a city here near us. And then the John Wood Company in Conshohocken, PA, 1965 it looks like. It's a 200 PSI tank. It's super cool. So I'm leaving all that stuff on here, and then this will be the back of the tank. The lid will be cut up here and then come out. Gonna have to wait to cut it open and figure out what the hell I'm gonna do with all these, like I guess where stuff was fixtured in it. I want to get it on there and kind of see what it looks like first. It's sweet, dude. Yes. It's just so gnarly looking. I love this height. This is going to be perfect. Then we'll have to come between these 2 points. She custom. It's looking sweet. So in order to make this sheet a little bit more manageable, we gotta cut this sucker in half. We're gonna hand cut plasma in order to put it on the plasma table and then computer cut plasma. More plasma. Now that we've got all the parts cut, we need to make the firebox. I'm making an insulated firebox here. So we're literally gonna make a small box and then weld it inside a big box, and then we're gonna stuff that box, cap that box, and light that box on fire. This should be fun. I am sweating like a pig, hopefully shedding off all the barbecue pounds I put on. I gotta figure out a solution because this is not what I wanted. This was supposed to come and be flush with the face. I don't know how I missed that. I just didn't even think of that. I should have had my Damn It John shirt on. Okay. We're just gonna cut a couple strips, we'll weld those in here, and just build that box out to match the face, and then we can still stuff it full of insulation and should be fine. Everything is fixable. The one nice thing about working with metal though is you can always add to it. So we're gonna rip those strips on the plasma table and then get those in. I've got some wool insulation left over, and I don't know if it's the correct insulation, but it's what I'm gonna use. I'm lighting this box on fire regardless, so if it catches on fire, I'll just make sure I'm not close to something else. Now all we need is a door. Hey, real quick, a lot of you have been asking how you can support the channel, if we have a Patreon, or if you can join a membership or anything like that, and for the answer is no. But what we do have is some killer merchandise if you want to support us. And you can get something awesome like this, which I gotta say is one of my favorite designs. Or this one. Pretty timely, I would say, with how ridiculous things are right now. Or you can get this one, which I've gotta say is pretty awesome. We've been working on this one for a minute. We know a lot of you guys really love the lettuce spray. So if you want to support the channel, snag up a shirt, piece of merch. We've got a ton of stuff. We love you guys, and thank you guys so much for supporting us. So we're antsy and want to see this door open. And like I said, we left tabs here to hold the door in place perfectly. So I can weld these hinges in place, and then the door, I can cut the door free and it should swing right open, in theory. So the door's on and tacked in, and I just went ahead and put the V-bottom in, which will allow for a cold bed and then let the air flow a little bit better. I got that off of Chud's Barbecue. If you guys are looking to make something, make sure you're checking out that channel. All right, this thing is ready to be installed. Now, we've got to figure out the best way to cut into the tank because I'm right-handed, and we've also got all of these things on the back end of the tank. The door has to go on this side. So I want the firebox to be on the right side. I just think it should be on the right. So because of that, we've got to come up with a way of getting a perfectly straight line and cutting this cap off so I can weld that in. And then that'll actually weld to the frame and everything will be secure. I can get this welded into place. We'll be able to get this thing rolling and it won't have so many parts. I don't know what I'm doing. It's nasty. I'm gonna have to wait till I have a door cut in that to clean it out. Jordan and I are gonna attempt to put this onto a pallet jack and then somehow get it close to this so I can weld it to the frame. Squirreliness level 2000. I don't want you to f***ing break your back. I won't. That's what I get for being a man bear pig. There's no chance. What if we just do this? Here, leave it on those legs, and I'll just pull the back up the best I can. Alright, what if these tacks hold? Let's push it up there. So our opening is sitting a little too low, so I'm gonna have to make another cut across here, bring that up, and we should be okay to fit that in. So we're also gonna take the wheels off of this. It'll give us a little bit more room to get this up, which should help with this issue. Problems of not having a forklift or anything except for my back, Jordan's back. Oh, Scott. This is the dream right here. This is the whole vision behind it. Now I just gotta weld everything in, and then we should be able to put it back on wheels. It's gonna be pretty heavy over here, huh? I hope I don't have to counterweight it over there. We'll find out. All right, Jordan just put the wheels back on. Now let's hope this thing doesn't just come falling on this side once it gets back on. Ready, boss?
Yep.
Hey! That's so cool! Jordan's gonna cut our hinges though on the plasma table because we want to go with a little bit of a beefier hinge instead of the bullet hinges that we use on these doors. Take it away, Boss Hog. just got the hinge parts, which means we now need to lay out our door. What I've got here is a piece of paper, and I'm just using reference points on the tank in order to draw my curved line to where the door is going to land. So I can just hold the paper here. I'll go past where I anticipate needing it and just walk the big bear paw around. And then we're actually going to cut right here along, right above this weld for the door top. All right, so Jordan came up with this hinge design, which we're going to weld into place. So what I need to do is weld this outside piece into place, as well as this, and then this inside piece once we're all together. Welder! All right, now for the moment of truth. Did we get this all right? Hey, it worked! Oh, it smells so bad! Woo! I can't wait to put 25 hours into cleaning this rust. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is 1, insane meat sweats. 2, we're gonna put the handle on. We got the hinge welded on. One thing to keep in mind if you're gonna be doing something like this, you want your handle to come down below your lid so that when it's up, you can still reach it without sticking your hand on your forearm on the door. And you want the handle to be able to rotate so that it feels better in the hands.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
So you could run a piece of rod the whole way across if you want. I'll just cut a piece that's about 1.5 inches, go on this side, and I'll bridge the gap with some cheaper material. We're gonna build a collection bin and our stack will come out. I got this concept from Aaron Franklin. It'll make sure all the smoke collects over the whole grate instead of in one place, and then we'll have it vent up to a 6-inch pipe. So let's get this firebox welded up. Oh, I am starving. We should eat. Oh, what, you guys thought I was abandoning my pit boss? Hell no. Time and a place for all smokers. Eat up. The next order of business is I gotta tack this in. Tack will give us somewhere to put tension, get this thing into plumb and square. So a little tackaroo. So the next thing we need to do is put a damper on the top here. This is to regulate airflow in and out. I had Jordan make this thing and it's a bit aggressive, but it's gonna work perfectly. So I'm gonna weld it into place as it sits perfectly like this. That way, when it's closed, no air gets out. We'll put a little tab on this side and you'll just be able to pull it out. If you're running this thing wide open, you probably got problems, but you barely need to crack it. And with a pipe this big, it should have some great airflow. So let's burn her in. I hope this doesn't break the back off. Next on the agenda is a hook to hold this. Wow, it's so cool to just like make moving shit that works.
Yeah, try and get out there by yourself.
So now for the most important parts of barbecuing, something to barbecue on. We gotta put some grates in here. I'm using some angle iron. I'm up here on the flatter surface and we're only 1 degree off from level. So I can just match this 0.9 or 1 degree here with the degree on my shelf and then they'll be in parallel. Get this thing burned in and then I'll do the same thing going across the back. All the main parts are in, which means it's time for all of the frilly parts. Jordan, get back onto that plasma cutter.
I got something to show you, Dad.
Oh boy. It is never good when Jordan brings me a surprise. Oh damn! That actually turned out sweet. Nice job. Growing up right in front of my eyes. She works, load her up and take her home. So 2 days of brisket and 6 racks of ribs, I would say Old Blue's getting the job done.
You're my boy, Blue!
All right, so for about 60 bucks for this air can, I would say $500 for the wheels and axles, another $500 in metal, and then all of my fancy tools. We're all in about, I would say 1,500 bucks with a couple loose odds and ends in there as well. And these things sell for about $6,000. So if you're in the market or you are looking to get into business with something cool, there's a ton of demand for stuff like this out there. Go make yourselves a few bucks. And also, huge shout out to Jordan. I wouldn't be able to do it without him and all the work he did on the CNC table. Go tell him how well he did on Instagram. He's enjoying himself some ribs right now though, so don't bother him right now. And if Yins want to see more metal projects, I got a whole playlist for you right here.